having the best day ever. And if you're not, I think I could probably help with that. So where we left off last time was this idea of doing a fairy garden, but making it functional for the woodland babies. So I unboxed all of these things. So if you want to know where I got all of the things I'm about to show you, it's all in the last video, and we hung out, I shared the bar cart, we talked about the theme of the month. And I do want to say, I think that we're going to have a theme every single month. I think that it's going to help us kind of enjoy every single season of the year. And for me, the theme of this month is very much pre-fall, dark academia, back to school, but make it a little bit witchy and a little bit fairy core, cottage core. So I'm utilizing all the things that I showed you in the last video from Carl's new water bowl. We love these little treats for him, by the way. I do whisper that word because if he hears me, but they're great for his joints and it's making a world of a difference. The other thing that we started doing is before bed, he gets one that's similar, but it's a calming one. And it's all the same thing that I have in my tea before bed. So if it's good for me, it's good for him. And it's working really, really well. Both of these are. So this is his little, we call it his office. That's his little eatery with his frame and his little lick mat and everything. And he loves it. So this is Carl. You guys will see him probably in every single video. The other thing I wanted to do was use these little tapered candle holders that I got on clearance. They're so pretty, and the color I was kind of skeptical about, but it actually works out perfectly, especially for pre-fall, paired with some dark brown candles. And if your candles are a little bit wobbly, you can totally use museum wax, which I usually use, or just melt a little bit of the bottom of the candle, let it drip into the holder, and that will usually hold it steady. I also lit a little incense. I'm obsessed with incense lately. I use some cedar wood ones. I also have like some fireplace scented ones. They're so good, and they're just such a pre-fall vibe, I feel. And it really does such a good at cleansing the air in terms of just, if you want your house to smell really good, but still woodsy and natural, I love it. So I'm just melting down the candles. The other thing that I realized is I think that you have to buy, from what I'm understanding, lower quality taper candles so that they can really drip down. I'll also show you, I think I filmed a short version of this and how I got them to really drip, but I put them all on a plate just in case, and I lit them, and it was just such a beautiful vibe for an afternoon. I loved it. There was such an amazing response, by the way, and I just want to take the time to say thank you on the most recent videos and the shift to this channel and the new aesthetic and lifestyle that I intend on sharing on here. And it just makes me really happy. Like a lot more slowed down, a lot more authentic to who I am presently. And it just makes me really happy. So thank you. And there was a couple of questions. If I was going to still do short form content, yes, absolutely. And if I was still going to share a little touch of Disney, yes, absolutely. The way that I would explain my current aesthetic is practical magic meets Snow White. That is how I would explain it. So the first thing that I wanted to do was kind of toy around with this little jungle gym, but I wanted to light some more candles. And this is like a little sneak peek of what's to come. They're so good. And yes, they are fall themed. And which beans can I spill? I'm showing 3 right here, but there's going to be 6 total. And they're very, very good. They're incredible, and I'm so excited for you to get your hands on them. The other hint that I can give is what you're seeing there is just the sample vessel, the vessel holding them. Oh, they're good. So I put together the little jungle gym. It took me a little bit longer than I thought. I didn't decide to use a drill. There's windows in this jungle gym. There's everything. I don't know if this was intended for hamsters or if it was intended for squirrels, but spoiler alert, it's perfect for little chipmunks and squirrels and woodland babies. So they have a little table and a bowl with chairs and then these climbing ladders. And it's super sturdy and well put together. And I wasn't sure if I was going to put it up in a tree or just on the ground, but it went pretty well to put it all together. I will say it just took a little bit of patience. So I put on some good music, had my candles going. It was great. So it's a 2-tiered jungle gym. Who would have thought that these little chipmunks would be so spoiled? But I figured I could put some peanuts in the bottom bowl for them, and then maybe they would get brave enough to go up to the top levels. And then I just gathered all of the things that I shared from my haul. So from the little mushroom house, that is actually a hamster house, that I know. But I figured it would be perfect and be able to endure the outside weather. This was all from Michael's with the little greenery and the bench and the garden. little shelves, as well as the table and all of the stumps. I thought that was so cute. Now, are they going to utilize this? No, but it is it's supposed to be a functional fairy garden. So it's a little bit of fairy garden and a little bit functional for the woodland babies. One thing I will say is I definitely want to glue all of this down, maybe either using some fast drying cement. I don't know if a glue gun will suffice, but I do think everything does need to get glued down. So I brought as much as I could outside in as little amounts of trips as possible. And I did my best to keep that fairy garden all together in one spot. Carl tried to escape. And this is where I was thinking about putting it. So you can see I already have a tiny little house for them. They've had that house for as long as I can remember. They usually just perch on top of it and they love it. So I didn't want to go too far away from that. I figured this big tree was so perfect just in the garden. And eventually I will plant some more in here. Just for right now, the chipmunks dig up all of my flower bulbs as well as pumpkin seeds. It's fine. It's their land as well. So I did decide to put this up in the tree. And they were already interested. So this is Evie. And she was checking things out. So I grabbed a peanut to just show her that it was safe. I fed her right away so that she knew that that was going to be exciting. But I figured it would take a little bit, but I knew it wouldn't take days for them to go over to this area. So I tried to just keep this fairy garden area all together so that I could just lay it in its space. And just on the ground, and I was going to put some peanuts in there too, so that it's a true mix of fairy garden and chipmunk garden. It turned out so good. I definitely want to do some winding paths and, like I said, maybe some little wet cement, but it worked out so well and they were already very interested.
Come on.
This is Evan. He's a baby.
Very good.
So we filled it up. I don't usually give them this much in one sitting, but I figured this was worth it. And they were probably going to work a little bit to get to it. And then there was just one thing left to add to it, this little fairy shelf, which I thought was cute. They were all watching me. It was so funny. I was like, come on, you can follow me. So they just weren't sure. They were kind of watching from a distance. So I set up the little fairy shelf. I put a peanut in there. I put some peanuts in the little mushroom house as well. And it didn't take long before they showed up. So I set up my camera. I left it out there. They started kind of at the bottom, which I love. And then they slowly got braver and braver. And then I kept going out to just coerce them to keep coming back because they trust me, which I love. That took a long time. See, they watched from a distance.
Do you want one? Come on.
So to film all of this, I decided to take out my vlogging camera and just set that up and just let it go on a timer. I tried to get as much footage as I could. The other thing that I decided to do was take out the camera. So I used to have a Dale cam. Dale's the main man. He is the original chipmunk. He'll probably be back in the fall. But the cameras that I use are so good because they notify me whenever there's movement. So I figured that'd be perfect. So we have my vlogging camera going. We had my phone going. I had the cameras going. And all I'll tell you is just stay through to the end because it is not only comical, but so satisfying to watch them explore all of this. And you might have a couple belly laughs.
Bye.